Hey everyone, I'm back. Um, and I'm moving. So the sewing room is a sad, echoey shell of a room. We are almost completely finished packing, and we will be out of here pretty soon. All of my tripods are packed, so this is a handheld, shaky video. I stupidly packed my lav mic, so the sound quality is probably not going to be great either. But since we're moving, that is complicated life, but other things have had to happen. Like I've had to quit my job and I took the semester off of school, so life is simplified a little bit. The one thing that I have access to, easy access to right now is, well, I'm able to hand sew. I have stuff pulled out for the next few weeks while we're living in Airbnbs until we can actually move into our new house because life is complicated. So I'm gonna do some hand sewing. I'm gonna try to make some videos about that. But right now, since my whole world is packed, my clothing collection is always packed, but is still easily accessible. So I'm gonna try to film and edit today, film several videos, and then edit them in the next few weeks and release them over time, you know, like people do. But it is crazy around here. So I hope that I'll be able to really devote time to this channel. I had big dreams and big goals, but life kind of got in the way. And now that I am unemployed or self-deaccessioned, I'm hoping to be able to put some time into some other goals. School is still a priority. If I can find another museum job, that'd be great. But I think for now, part-time would be okay. So we'll see what happens. But I hope to be able to spend more time with you, sharing my projects and my collection and, you know, all of the nonsense that I'm about. So let's get started. So what we're looking at today is an early 20th century ensemble. We'll first take a look at the bodice, and later we'll take a look at the matching skirt. I would place this between 1900 and 1905. The fabrics are silk chiffon over silk taffeta. The bodice is then also lined in cotton. I've named her Glinda. She's in terrible condition, but we love her anyway. She's exquisitely designed and trimmed. Everything just works. The yoke features pin tucks and lace. The lace moving down the center of the bodice. The body of the bodice has wide pin tucks set at an angle. The sleeves are still slightly puffed. The lace has been used as a sort of decorative cap in the oversleeve. The silk is gathered at the waist to create a type of belt. The collar has deteriorated quite a bit, and in fact, it was only hanging on by a few threads, so I removed it. The bodice closes at the back with hooks and eyes. Silk at the waist meets in a type of bow. The maker even took the trouble to have the lace cover the back opening. First we unhook the lace, then we can unhook and open the back. You can really see the damage to the silk here at the center back and around the collar. The lining is in pretty good shape, and we can see a center front seam, finished edges, and perspiration guards, which I have a fondness for. I don't know why. 9 bones help the bodice hold its shape, and as we can see from this one that's popped out, the bones are thread wrapped. Typically, garments are made with hooks on one side of the closure and eyes on the other side. On this bodice, they alternate to create, I guess, a more snug closure without any gapping. In addition to the back closures, there are large hooks that would hook onto eyes at the skirt to avoid gaps and keep a nice line. At the bottom, the silk is split so we can see the several layers incorporated in the bodice, or at least near the hem. First, the silk that encloses the hem, then the cotton, lining, and bone layers, then a stiffening layer of buckram, followed by more taffeta, and then finally the chiffon and the belt that we can see there at the bottom. While there isn't much staining in the armpits, one of them is split in such a way that it cannot be repaired. Moving on to the skirt, we see the same design elements repeated. Again, the outer fabric is doing okay, but there are a couple of issues in the lace, and the taffeta at the waistband is absolutely done. There are pin tucks across the hips, lace across the hips and down the front, and these are fitted hips, so that would be a really beautiful detail. Then wider tucks in sort of a chevron, which draws the eye down to the hem. The skirt is finished with a ruffle, which at the top of the ruffle it almost looks like smocking. At the hem there are 2 rows of gathered trim made of the same chiffon. And then when we flip back that ruffle, we see that the taffeta has been pleated in tiny, tiny pleats. Unfortunately, the silk has shattered to such a degree that all those narrow pleats become shreds and kind of just look like fringe. The pleats are open at the bottom, and another bit of gathered trim is sewn at the hem. And this continues around the entire circumference of the garment. And you can see how the chevron would really play well with the curves that were popular during that period and with the curves of a woman's body. Okay, so taking a look at the back, you can see that the lace continues. We have rows of narrow pleats that continue around from the front. There is a center back closure, the placket, and the hooks and eyes continue down the entirety of the placket on the fashion fabric. As you can see, the tucks don't quite line up perfectly, but some of that imperfection is hidden by the lace that once again goes over the back closure and closes with a hook and eye to look continuous and blend that opening. The tucks really continues a nice flow down to the train, and I imagine that this garment would have moved really well when the wearer was walking. I really love this piece. I wish that I could see what it would have looked like when it was new. Sometimes I wish I had a time machine. I could travel back in time, take a look around, and say to myself, yep, this sucks, and come home. Because I've never wanted to live in any other time but now. But much like this dress, we can learn from the past, but we can't and shouldn't ignore its problems. So my apologies for the bad lighting from my Airbnb. Just want to invite you to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There will be more coming shortly, and we'll see you next time. Bye.